everybody. This is Mike.
And I'm Caleb.
And you're listening to Modern Era Fitness Podcast. And we have a guest today.
Yeah, but we'll get to that in a minute. Did you not hear me explain it to him?
So we talk about our week and then introduce?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How was your week?
My week was great. A little behind the curtains of how the sausage is made there, folks.
Yep.
Yeah, my week was good. I'm sore.
Yeah? You got a lot going on?
Yeah.
What's new and exciting?
I don't know. Still a vegetarian.
That's good. Well, good for you.
Good for those suffering animals.
There's animals that would have lived, that would have been alive, but you didn't give that, that demand for more animal meat. So,
right?
There's animals that didn't live because you didn't eat the animals before them.
You don't make any sense right now.
I just worked out. I'm a little low on blood sugar.
Okay. Do you want some pre-workout?
No.
For your post-workout?
No. Pre-workout for post-workout
Yeah.
on an empty, well, not empty stomach, but terrible idea.
Let's see. What is going on? I can't think of anything out of the ordinary.
Nothing?
Nothing. I've been really productive at my day job. That's been good.
Don't talk about that.
What about you?
What about me?
How was your week?
It was good. Nothing spectacular happened. It was really boring. I am also very sore.
So a couple of boring weeks.
Yeah. Actually...
it's a really good thing we have a guest this week.
It is. It
we have
really is.
Nothing to talk about.
Actually, I'm kind of implementing my online software for the clients that are already training with me. So that's pretty exciting.
What does that mean?
It means I am augmenting all my personal one-on-one training face-to-face with my online software. So if somebody is, let's say they train every Monday, then I can also supplement what they do on Monday with stuff for the rest of the week when they're on their own.
How does the internet come into play? I'm not getting the connection yet.
So they have an app on their phone.
Okay.
And I have software.
Okay.
And I type in what I want them to do.
Okay.
And it updates them and notifies them when they're supposed to do it.
Can't you just text them what you want them to do? How much are you paying for this software?
Oh, we'll get into it. I'll show you.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I should have a little preview for that and show everybody how it works.
Sure.
Because it's pretty neat. So that's what's going on, and it's really exciting.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, you want to do the honors?
You do the honors.
Okay. It's my honor, my great honor, to bring in the fabulous, Joey Hurt.
Hi, folks. This is my first podcast.
Yeah. Congrats, first of all.
It's a pretty big deal.
We'll take it easy on you.
Thank you.
So who are you? For the people that don't know, what do you do?
What do I do? So I know Caleb from Hood's Martial Arts. Caleb is a pretty good teacher. He's sitting across from me right now. I'm thinking nice things to say about it because I probably have a few negative things. But I'm a student of Caleb's. I also I'm 50 years old, so I'm like one of those old guys who's trying out like martial arts. So I'm kind of a little older. Just started getting back into fitness, and I listen to the podcast basically for specific questions that I ask during the week, like, how do I do this type of exercise and CrossFit, things like that. So I ask a lot of questions to these guys. So I do listen to their podcast. For me, martial arts is a big deal, and same with exercising. Those are the two big things in my life right now. So these guys are kind of fun to talk to about it.
That's a good fit. And you also train in another martial art that... We actually take classes together. We take some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu together.
Yeah, this is where the master becomes the student.
Yeah.
This is a good thing about Caleb. He's willing to learn. This is Caleb, the teacher here at the Hood's MMA, who's a black belt in Kaja Kembo, who's willing to go down and take a white belt in a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and actually get beat up by guys and be humbled about it, which
pretty
is really
gnarly
cool.
Beat up too. I got a knee in the face this last week. You missed Tuesday, but they were doing the flip over the body where you toss them, and the guy landed knee down on my...
Yeah.
Anyway.
I've seen pictures of your forearms where they're all bruised, and I got the
it's pretty
same
nasty.
one.
It's fun though, isn't it?
I like it. Yeah, it's when you're. I lack the flexibility. 50 years old, and you start lacking the flexibility. But I really like it. I like the fact that it's a little different than Kajukenbo, where it's more up fighting, where you're up, on your feet fighting versus ground fighting. Ground fighting is a little bit different, and it requires a lot of muscle strength, a lot of getting in there, forcing your will on somebody else, like in your personal space. You know, you know what I mean? It's you're on the ground, and you're just twisted up with another human being, trying to choke them out or break a limb. It's different. It's just, and I like it. So
I think that's a very. I feel the same way about jiu-jitsu so far. But what's funny is I hear all these masters and the people that created the art saying it's everyone's equal in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And I'm thinking, that guy didn't wrestle the 300-pound guy that I wrestled the other day. Like it's difficult. And I know I'm saying that as a white belt, but that's just where I am right now. Like, I feel weak.
Yeah. It's one of those things Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu does point out, how weak you are in certain areas. Their core strength. If you can't pick another human being up off your body and move them off to the side, if you can't squeam out of a hold, it forces you. It's like right in your face, like boom.
And it's trying to find that line between, okay, what is lack of strength and what is lack of technique, and all the instructors will say, oh, it's lack of technique. You should be able to do this on anyone. Yeah. But it doesn't feel like that when you're on your back. And
it's a motivator for me. I know when I get pinned, but when I get tapped out, I find out why the reasons I'm tapped out, and I work on it. I go to the gym and I say, okay, my grip strength is poor. I couldn't hold on to the guy. Yeah. Man, I'm on that whole week, man, I'm focusing on my grip strength.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned you had a question for Mike. This might be a good opportunity to get to it. You were asking about grip strength and exercises for maybe grip strength or forearms.
Yeah, so part of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is about grabbing somebody and holding on to them. And this is like when you're standing up and they can pull you up off the ground and you're still having to hold on to a person. So it's really about a hardy grip strength, and I just don't really have it because I don't have the big forearms. I don't have that kind of strength. And so I've been going to the gym and I've been kind of following some of the, we have a little app that says this is how you need to build your forearms. And one of the exercises they have you do is stand on a treadmill, kind of walk like really slow and carry like heavy weight, kind of like
farmer's
a suitcase.
Carry.
Farmer's walk. Yeah.
And so that's one of the things I was doing, and I asked Mike. I said, "Hey, Mike, is that looking good?" He just looked at me and shook his head. I was like, "Ah, nah."
So the reason it's called that is, you can pretty much put it together why it's called a farmer's carry. The funny thing is it would be a fantastic grip strength exercise if you actually had to grip sacks of seed and things like that, because then you're working your actual pinch and fine motor.
Yeah,
but if you're just carrying heavy weights, it seems like it's not really working.
Well, the bars that we have, like a pull-up bar and a barbell and dumbbells and all those things that we lift all the time, they have the perfect circumference that's really easy to hang on to. So if you're grabbing somebody's gi, it's not going to be a bar that's right up against your palms.
Yeah,
it's going to be out there
instead of around grip.
That's right.
So something you can do that's extremely effective is, for beginners, just grab onto a pull-up bar and time yourself and see how long you can just hang there.
Oh, okay.
And then you can do ledge pull-ups or just ledge hangs. So it's finding like a ledge over a door. Well, this door doesn't have one. But like the ledge down there on that door.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks, listening to the podcast where you can't see this. But imagine that there's just a 2-inch ledge over a door for the frame.
Yeah.
Kind of like rock climbing.
Yep, exactly. Okay. So that's going to build the strength in your fingers a ton.
And I've visited another jiu-jitsu school up in Camas, and they have a pretty sweet rig where they have it's like a heavy bag hanging system, but instead of a heavy bag, every couple of stations they'll have these softballs with like a bolt going through and mounted to the rig. So you have to grip onto the softball and do pull-ups that way, because the softball size, the diameter, forces you to have to work that grip instead of the convenient diameter of a barbell or a pull-up bar. And it really kind of.
Can you do this?
So
a few. I'm not.
So
I need to work on it too. But
the softball for the average human size, that's like the level 10 thing to do. If you can do pull-ups like that, like you're up there. You know what I mean? Like your grip strength is
Gotcha.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So the smaller it is, the easier it is to hang on to.
Okay.
So just work your way up. Get something bigger and bigger and bigger to hang off of.
Do you like applesauce, Joey?
Do I like applesauce?
Yeah.
If it doesn't have red meat in it, probably not.
What?
Zing.
I'm a meat eater.
A little jab. So you hate fruit? I don't understand.
I don't really eat applesauce. I'll eat an apple, but not the sauce.
Okay. Here's why I ask. To work on grip strength, take the apple and just crush it. Split it with your fingertips. Dig it in. Just get it messy.
All right.
If you want to get a really good workout, just go to Safeway and just crush them all.
Yeah, you'll piss off a lot of people, but you
make an
you just
applesauce?
bought 50 apples.
Yeah, listen to this podcast. They
Worth
told
it.
me to come down to Safeway
Yeah,
and start crushing apples.
You can send the bill
Modern
to
Air
them.
Fitness told me to.
But honestly, I mean, if you want, you could try that and just use that to gauge.
I would probably start out with an egg, see if I can do an egg. I've seen people do
There you go.
eggs. Yeah,
Yeah. I think I could do that.
yeah. I'm going to watch my wife. She's going to think I'm crazy going home squeezing apples. She's going to look at me
I
like,
was-
what are you doing?
I was just checking to see if it's ripe.
What are you doing? I'm training.
For what? She's going to look at me strange.
You'll thank me later.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Kids? Wife?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I have a wife. So my wife is a full-time wheelchair user. I don't typically introduce her like that, but since we're on a podcast, she's like way more intelligent than I am. She has a doctorate degree. She was a teacher for a long time over at a university. She was actually a researcher and teacher.
What was her field?
Education.
Or is her field?
Education, and I think partially women's studies.
Oh,
so
cool.
She's really, very liberal, whereas me, I'm on the other.
Well, that should make for an interesting
Yeah, so it's
table talk.
interesting.
Keeps it spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so basically, our kids have we're out shooting each other with Nerf guns one minute, and the next minute we're in learning about like disability rights studies.
Wow.
So
That's cool.
Yeah.
that's our.
Do you have anything that she's working on that you want to plug? Anything?
Yeah, she's just working on curriculum right now for different
Okay.
things for different schools. She basically works with a specific school or multiple schools, and she has a diversity program to help children understand, like if somebody's a full-time wheelchair user,
Mhm.
how you react around them,
Okay.
that kind of thing. A long time ago, there was a girl who had a bladder issue that when she was hit in the stomach, she would lose her bladder,
Mm.
right? And she would basically pee herself in
Mhm.
the class, and then she would run out.
Oh.
And, it was really harsh on her.
Yeah, that
And
would be.
so my wife wrote a curriculum so the kids can understand you don't punch somebody and the reasons why. She went through the anatomy piece, and she helped the people out understand why this little girl lost her bladder, and helped little kids understand. You know,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to. It's not fun to
Yeah.
hit somebody and make them lose their bladder, right?
Yeah.
So she does stuff like that.
That's cool. That's really cool because there are a variety of issues that a large part of the population haven't encountered before,
Mm-hmm.
and if we're kind of caught off guard with having to interact with that and not having been exposed to it,
Yeah.
it can be kind of an awkward, like, what's the right thing to say, the wrong thing to say?
Yeah.
Like, how do I don't know.
Well, it's really interesting though, is that over the years, since I've watched my wife, there's a kind of a culture, a disability kind of culture that you belong to. It's just like anything else, and I've watched over the years. Sorry. Is that over the years people are becoming a little more insensitive towards people with
Insensitive?
disabilities. Yeah, insensitive.
Oh, wow.
They don't open doors as much, because it's really hard for a person with a wheelchair to open a door with their strength.
Yeah,
with
Yeah.
and they're not as not as gentle and kind as they used to be. I think in the past, like in the 90s, I watched my wife when I first met her and we started dating and stuff like that. People were more open to open the doors. Back in past like 2012, 13, 14, I just kind of generally started to notice, and people really don't care. They just
Wow.
they just walk around her, don't even try to basically help her out with whatever she needs help with. Stairs are a big issue with her. She can't get into certain buildings. And it used to be somebody would go, it's like, well, let me go talk to somebody, bring somebody out of the building so they can talk to you out here. Like, for instance, she had to talk to a lawyer one time, and she couldn't get up into the building because it's an older building.
Mm.
And so she couldn't get up the stairs. There was a flight of stairs leading into the building. And so somebody just stopped around the street and said, hey, look, I'll go get the person for you. And today, I don't see that happening anymore.
Interesting.
Very.
I would have thought it was going the other way.
Me too.
That's what I see. Yeah, this is
Interesting.
and this is all Oregon. Maybe it's different in other parts of the state,
Yeah.
but as far as I can say, is here in Salem and the area, this seems to be a little bit more insensitive.
That's troubling. I
I like to point my finger at millennials, but it's just not millennials.
Well, mostly, probably. Yeah.
I wouldn't point them, but yeah.
Oh, that's funny and sad at the same time. Funny what you said.
Mm-hmm.
Sad about everything else you said.
Yeah. The decline.
Yeah. Any other? Sorry to change the subject back, but did you have any other grippy things?
Grippy things?
Grippy ideas?
Really, it's kind of you getting a variation of things to hang on to instead of just something that you can grip around.
Yeah.
And that's really it.
Mm-hmm.
So you felt what it's like to hang on to a gi when
Yeah.
somebody's pulling away from you. It's
Yeah.
like really hard because it's slipping out from between your fingers.
That's exactly right.
So like what we talked about with the actual farmer's walk, where you have to like grab sacks of grain, and it's the same thing. It's that kind of rough, you know?
Yeah.
And it's pulling away from you just like a gi would, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So if you did that and just got, 2 50-pound sacks of rice and you actually had those at home and did a farmer's walk with those,
I just walk.
that might be really well.
Yeah.
Or work really well.
I'll have to try that. Thank you.
And rice is really inexpensive.
It is.
Yeah. And you can cook it and eat it later
I gotcha.
to give you your carbs for your workout.
And you can just open those grains up and then just have your fingers straight and jab it into the rice.
Yeah.
I don't know what that does. I just saw
Kung Fu iron body training, yeah. If you have this is going old school. I don't know if you're interested in this or not, but you can take a big pot and fill it with the rice that you just carried, and you just jab your hand into it, fingers straight, or just about straight, over and over and over, and it'll give you an iron poke.
The discipline of Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Rice in the hand. And
Yeah.
And once that becomes no longer difficult, then you fill it up with river rocks and do the same thing.
Yep.
River rocks.
Or ball bearings.
Ball bearings.
Yeah. He's laughing, but
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I had a staff sergeant who was like the nicest guy ever, but he was and he never told anybody. But I found out he was like I forget what belt, but he was up there in Shaolin.
Mm-hmm.
And he did a lot of that stuff. He did like iron hand training and iron forearm training.
Cool.
And so I'd walk into his office, and he had a steel beam just like that, because we were pretty much like in a warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
And he had it wrapped in rope, and he'd just like be beating the crap out of his forearms, or just punching it over and over,
That's
or just tapping it with his fingers.
Cool.
It's like
Nice guy, but he could ground fight like nobody's business.
That's awesome.
It's like those TIE fighters, the
Yeah.
TIE fighters kicking banana trees. And
Chopping them down with their shins.
Yeah.
Oh, those TIE fighters.
Yeah.
I got excited.
Oh,
for a second.
you're thinking Star
I was like,
Wars.
yeah, TIE fighters.
Muay Thai.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you do to stay healthy?
For me,
Yeah, because I know fitness. You mentioned fitness and martial arts are kind of a big part. So, what does your week look like as far as that stuff?
So just to give you some background about my lifestyle up until the point I realized I should be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I basically said,
actually pause right there.
Yeah.
What was that moment? Like what?
What was that moment?
Yeah, what kind of got you?
So there's
You don't have to share.
There's moments in your life that happen that you it's like you can't erase, right? There's little blips in time that you just are in your mind that are cemented. And one of them in my life that happened was when I was robbed. And this has happened in Lloyd Center about 5 years ago. And if you've never been robbed before, it's really weird to go through the experience, and it's something you'll never forget, right? It's just really weird.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
like surreal.
It is. It's really weird. And I can go into detail about it. What are you?
It's up to you.
Okay.
I'm just curious about what got you motivated to get fit and get into martial arts.
Yeah. So,
and those might be different
yeah
things.
So my motivation originally was, after I was robbed, protecting my family became first and foremost to me. And that was partly because of my actions during the robbery. My actions were not about protecting my family. They were about getting revenge, right? They were about hitting that person, smashing him as hard as I could, and just doing as much damage as I possibly could. I had no martial arts training. I had nothing whatsoever. I didn't even get to swing at the guy. The guy was down on the ground so bad. But my pride, my whatever you want to call it, was get up and beat the hell out of him, basically, is what it's going to do. And so that happened, and when I got knocked down the second time, and I can go into more of the story, but I was hit the first time, knocked down, and started running after the guy. I took my wallet and started running around the corner. Another guy stepped out in the back and just slammed me right in the head. And
because you were chasing after that initial guy.
Yeah. This is the Lloyd Center parking lot. This is late at night. We went to the Lloyd Center specifically to be with Wounded Warriors. It's a program for disabled vets, and because my wife's in a wheelchair, we tend to hang out with them. They're kind of our crowd.
Yeah.
And so it was late at night at Lloyd Center, so it was a dark parking lot, and there was nobody in the mall. All the vendors had gone away, and their gates were down and everything like that. So it was late at night. It was probably like 10 o'clock by the time we got done at Lloyd Center. Then we were down doing what do they call that, with the stones on the ice, where you push the stones?
Curling, yeah.
So we were doing that with the Wounded Warriors. So anyway, to make a long story short, a guy came up to me, started asking me for money. This is the very first incident that happened. I was in the back of we have a Explorer, and I lifted, the back was up, and I was putting my wife's wheelchair in. At the time, we had 2 kids. My kids were about 5 and 3. And so my wife was fiddling around with them in the back seat, trying to get them all locked in their chairs. And so this kid came up to me and started asking me for money, and pestering me over and over and over again. Just give me money, man, just $1. Just until finally I gave in. So I turned around, and as I was reaching for my wallet, I took it out of my back pocket, and I started opening up. He hit me. I don't even know where he hit me, and I just dropped. And so, instantly, I just was angry, right? Just pure angry. And I saw him run around the corner out to the street area, because we were parked alongside the street area. And he ran around the street, and I chased after him. And as I came around the corner, there was another kid waiting, and he just turned around and clocked me, and it dropped me right to the ground, and I couldn't get up. I just saw a flash of white. It just went down, and my legs would move. And I was coherent. It didn't hurt, And
it was just a shock to the system.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he dropped a wallet. He dropped my wallet. He took all the money out of my wallet and basically dropped it on me and walked off. And it was just really weird. I couldn't move for a second. I just kind of laid there. And I got up, and I was like, I can't do this. I've got to get back to my family is what I thought. And so I went back to my family and just nonchalantly got in the car.
Yeah, like nothing happened.
Yeah. And all the drive from Portland to Salem, that whole drive, that whole section, I went through every possible emotion you can go through, from just being deathly scared.
Yeah.
And just, all the way to, anger. And I was sweating one moment, the next minute I was shaking, that whole gambit.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So that was one of the reasons why I got into martial arts, because I realized then that when you chase somebody, because you're angry, is not the right thing to do. Right? Yeah. That is purely the not right thing to do.
Yeah.
As you said in previous podcasts, the first rule of defense is don't be there.
Yeah.
Don't be there. We should have parked in a completely different area. I should have scanned my area before we left. These 2 guys were scouting us out the whole time. This whole mall is blank with nobody in it, but there's 2 guys watching me the whole time, following me the whole time. I should have known.
Did you get any sort of weird feelings when he was pestering you for money before you even got your wallet out? Like,
no.
Did you think, okay, this guy's oddly persistent and maybe...
No, I had my back to him the whole time.
Huh.
He could have taken a knife out and stabbed me for all I know. My back was to him, and I was like, he just kept asking me. I just turned around and said, fine, whatever, just give my, was going to take out some, just a couple $1 bills, and here you go, get out of my face kind of thing.
Wow.
But it was a time thing. He waited till I reached around, grabbed my wallet, looked down, and then he clocked me.
Ugh. So what was the impetus for getting into exercise then? What is it, to further the martial arts, or is it just general health? Or
so I realized real quickly, and when especially in your class, is that that when you spar with somebody, if you can't last a minute on sparring, you're not going to last a minute on the street.
Yeah.
And you're just going to – they have a thing in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu where it's like cardio tap, right?
Yeah.
You have nothing in your gas tank to give, and so you just tap.
Yeah.
That is my goal, not to have that ever happen to me.
Yeah. They call it gassing out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't realize that. They see people in UFC or whatever, and they run these 3 5-minute rounds or whatever. And what people don't understand is that they train full time to do those fights, and even they get tired. And there's something different about just living life. Even if you exercise, there's something different about when you're sparring or when you're in a fight or a self-defense situation where your body is on such a high high alert and high, I don't know, just readiness to either bolt or protect yourself, or I don't know, just the anxiety and the adrenaline is up so much that you burn through your energy 5 times as fast as if you were just doing a mock sparring or a friendly sparring. And that conditioning is just key if you want to try to survive for any amount of time in a real situation. It's important, I mean, there are tricks and things that you can do to hopefully end the fight quicker.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to do in a self-defense situation. So conditioning isn't the deciding factor. Right. We don't want it to be the deciding factor, but sometimes it can be.
It's a motivator, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely motivates me that I know if I'm in a street situation, the guy that I'm fighting might be a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I don't know.
Yeah.
So when I train, I always train it to the highest level I could possibly think of that person coming after me. I don't care if the person in front of me is just swinging, whatever.
Worst case scenario.
I always go into it like I'm approaching it. That is, if this person was much, much better than I am.
Yeah. That's a good mindset to have, I think.
Yeah.
In reality, though, hopefully anybody who's trained in martial arts for any amount of time knows better than to start a fight or rob somebody or something like that. But you can't assume that. I mean, look at Karate Kid. It's a perfect example.
Boom.
Yeah. Cobra Kai. You can never be too sure. And if I learned anything from Ninja Turtles, it was that
Pizza Dude's got 30 seconds.
I like how when I brought up Ninja Turtles, you very...
My eyes light up.
Well, you had this look of, yes, wisdom.
TMNT.
Yeah. Splinter, or not Splinter. Yeah, Splinter. He said there's always going to be somebody better than you out there. And I know he's not the one that originated that wisdom. But
we'll get into that later.
but I, that's where I heard it first, and that's where it stuck. What sticks. And so I totally agree with you. And when we've been working out in here and stuff, our goal is to be able to protect ourselves against other black belts. It's not to protect ourselves against only the drunk single punch kind of a guy.
The self-defense dummy. Come at me like this really slow.
Yeah.
One hand overhand.
You stabbed me wrong.
Yeah. Got my hand.
Yeah.
Other hand. No, you.
Yeah, we want to be able to go against trained people too.
Yeah.
Because you never know, just like you said.
So that is one of the motivators for me. And then the other motivator is health.
Yeah.
Right? The other just being healthy. I've never been a really healthy human being before. So this is my first go around with eating correctly and exercising correctly. It's
eating mostly correctly.
Well, yeah, vegetables are not exactly the main menu of my house.
Well, we'll get there.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can evolve to that state. I want to stay in the meat eater.
Yeah. No, meat. I get it. Meat's pretty good.
Mm.
It tastes good.
I don't know if people knew, but Caleb's a vegetarian. So.
Oh, we know.
Yeah.
What? You're kidding.
So we got two meat eaters on one side.
Yeah,
vegetarian.
that's why I set it up this way.
I wonder who is in the survival of the fittest. I wonder who'd win.
I don't know. I could find probably more to eat, like just in the field next to us than.
I'm just thinking Caleb, just grab him, beat him down, and then
I don't have as much meat though. That's the thing. I'm gristly. I don't know. Is that the right word?
You can run faster than us.
You're an open range kind of.
Yeah. Certified free range.
Yeah.
Oh, brother. Okay. Anyway.
So the other question, the reason you challenged me to been on here is because of the belt system.
Oh,
right?
yeah. We have this comment system where people can make comments on our podcast. If they heard something that either they want to question or just continue the conversation or whatever, you can make comments about that. And Joey is a frequent commenter, and one of his comments was off of our White Belt Moments episode, where we talked about kind of that defining moment where you decide, oh, this is fun, I want to do this. And what was your comment?
My comment said basically was that the belt system was traditional, right?
Mhm.
It was based in old arts
Yeah.
way back when in another country. And your comment was, "Oh yeah, come in and defend your position."
Yeah, because and maybe I'm projecting, but I got the feel from your comment that the traditional belt system is I don't want to say worthless, but
Yeah.
just kind of
It's
not necessarily and antiquated. Like,
Yeah, it's
there's
not-
no reason for it now.
Yeah, it's not worthless. It's some people really need that belt system to really progress and feel like they're progressing and things like that. That's some people need that, right? It's just like working out. They need to see body shape. They need to see changes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They need that motivation, right?
Mhm.
And I don't need it.
It's a carrot at the end of a stick kind of thing. Okay.
I'm not going to wear my belt. And the other piece of it is out on the street,
Mhm.
no one cares about a belt.
Yeah.
You can have a black belt and still.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of why I said that. And partly was, and partly is because of my age, right? I can explain to you before,
Mhm.
which is I don't have a lot of time. This is the first go around with martial arts at my age of 50. So I don't have a lot of time at the age of 50 to go in and spend 10 years in a martial art and try to
Mhm.
figure out, oh, this isn't for me. It's time to change over here to this
Yeah.
one. I just don't have a lot of time. So I tend to take approach where the belt's not important to me. What's important is learning how to strike.
Mhm.
Getting 1,000 strikes in on a bag versus, projecting myself in a form.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. The form is there and it exists, but I know in the street I'm going to pick up some certain tools, and I know myself well enough to know that I'm going to use my fist is the first thing and my feet the second. So when we do forms with kicking and stuff like that, it's just like, oh, I'm just doing this for Caleb.
Well, that's sweet. That's nice.
Here I am. Okay, I'm going to kick for Caleb.
So he's thinking about me. That's nice.
And then
I'll take it.
But when we strike, I'm striking
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Like when I learn how
And
to
you're still
strike.
picturing me. This is Caleb's face.
Well, yeah.
You said it before,
Yeah,
buddy.
yeah.
You can't deny it. You've said
So
it.
the other piece of it is about the Kaja Kembo is kind of a criticism a little bit is that they are stationary. Their head is stationary a lot of times when they punch. And so I notice like American boxing, they're
Mhm.
moving and they're kind of sticking around, and so to me it's an easy target because I'm just like, okay, I'm going to stick a move, turn around, pop.
There's something to be said about that. It really depends on who you're
Yeah.
swinging with. Like,
Yeah.
well, wait, I should rephrase that. It depends on who you're fighting. You know what I mean?
Sparring.
Like, yeah, some people have great head movement, some don't, and that's not really an art specific thing. And a lot of it might be more body movement than head movement. It just
Mhm.
kind of depends. Mike, you raised your hand.
Yeah, I did. How do I say it? So you don't really like doing the forms?
Yeah, I believe in discipline, and I do believe in it really strongly. But I tend to get bored with it really quick, and want to. Okay, I'm going to strike. I want to strike hard. I want to strike correctly. I want to hit a bag. I want to. There's a lot more going in my brain than just okay. I need to step here and turn here and do that.
Do you think the practicing those forms or being a student of Caleb's for any amount of time would help you out on the street?
Yeah, so just to go back a little bit to understand what I mean by this too is that Kaja Kembo is a discipline, a martial art discipline that deals with multiple arts. And so one of them is the Kaja Kembo is the boxing. And so I tend to go focus in on that. And that's all about what Kaja Kembo is about is finding what it is that you do really well and honing in on those skills. And so when we do these different forms and whatnot, I tend to think that they're maybe not as they don't help me as much as the bow part of it, the boxing part of it. Does that make sense?
It does, but do you think the Tai Chi kind of is interwoven with the boxing? Do you think practicing Tai Chi makes you a better boxer?
Yeah, it does. I mean, the amount of time I put into Tai Chi when we did it was an hour, like 2 days a week, and it was helpful. It helped me with limbering up and stuff like that, but it didn't help me with my strike. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I didn't think it did.
It all kind of happens in levels, and I just want to point out for the listeners that this is Kaja Kembo can be interpreted many different ways, and it's kind of really up to the individual to get what they want out of Kaja Kembo. And I have a different view of Kaja Kembo than Joey does. I don't know if it's probably biased, but But
You're a black belt. I'm a white belt.
Well, you know what I mean, though. Like I've put a lot of time into it, and so everything that I'm hearing you say, if I had an hour for each point, I could explain.
Yeah.
You know how you could get what you're looking for out of it, but like you said, if you're not interested in putting in years on one martial art right now, when there's a component that you're not super excited about, you know, you gotta, it's like what Mike and I have said in other episodes, where whatever that thing is that you're actually going to do, that's the best thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, like if you love bench press and you write in and you say, what's a great exercise to do? You know, the best exercise to do. You know, we could sit here and list exercises all day long, but if bench press is what you're passionate about and what you're actually going to be consistent with, then that's the exercise you need to do. And so I kind of feel the same way about martial arts. I do feel like Kajukenbo has a lot to offer, and specifically with the things that you're mentioning. But if it's not your bag, it's not your bag. You know, I'm not gonna force feed it to you. And if you find something else that does fulfill that, do that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And if jiu-jitsu is doing that, do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's. But I gotta say.
But I know striking wise, I mean.
Yeah. I like striking.
Yeah. Kajukenbo is a little better than Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for that.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. But anyway, Mike, you were raising your hand again.
Yes. Well, I want to be kind and not interrupt.
I appreciate that.
So, well, here's what I think. So many of these things are kind of interwoven, and when I see, and I'm biased too, and I have this outside perspective because I'm not a martial arts practitioner in any way. But when I see Caleb do his forms or for Tai Chi, and then we spar, I'm like, wow, there has to be a correlation there. And just like with like working out and stuff, somebody comes to me and they say, I want bigger arms. And after talking to them for 10 minutes, I find out that their arm routine is everything's good, their nutrition's good, but they're not working anything on legs and they're not doing any squats. So my solution is like, well, do heavy squats. That's going to up your testosterone. That's going to help you move a lot more weight. And it's just going to make you stronger all around. And it's not a theory, like it's a fact. Like
your body gets used to things.
Yeah. So if you want bigger arms, squat heavy. If you're not squatting heavy already, and I think the same thing goes for this for what you're talking about.
I would agree with that. And whether you know it or see it or not, everything you do influences. Like jiu-jitsu, there is an absolute direct relation in Tai Chi and the Tai Chi principle into Jiu-Jitsu. I feel that. I was just having that conversation with Russ this morning that there are so many similarities. I cannot emphasize it enough that a lot of what we do in Jiu-Jitsu on the ground is the exact same as what we do standing up. It's just the position you're in.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean striking versus submission or anything like that. That means the principles are the same, like, economy of motion and sensitivity and awareness of where your body is and your opponent's body is and what their intention is and reading that and then responding to that and all these kind of martial principles that are a little bit deeper in. If you spend more time in a martial art, you kind of learn those things and then you can see them everywhere. And I don't know. That's why I don't like to necessarily compare martial arts side by side. I feel like all martial arts probably have all the same principles, but that certain martial arts just kind of hone in on one aspect. And Kajukenbo was an attempt to get out of that, kind of like Jeet Kune Do, Bruce Lee's martial art. His goal was to make, an ever-evolving and applicable art. If it doesn't work, toss it out, and he's trying to get good at all these different ranges. I think if Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu had been a big enough thing back when he was around, he'd probably train it and assimilate some of it into his system. And Kajukenbo is an attempt to do that as well.
Yeah.
And but I mean, it's just a different focus.
The way I view it is kind of like having a tool belt with a lot of different tools on it.
Yeah.
And so, like, Western boxing is like, cool, you have a tool belt, and you just have this huge hammer. and you're really good at hitting. But
Yeah.
I view Kajikembo as like you got a really good hammer, but you also have a lot of other things.
Yeah, like a screwdriver.
A screwdriver or a screw gun or
Yeah, and
nails.
that's kind of why I started the jiu-jitsu thing, is because I noticed there are some tools, not necessarily that Kajikembo lacks, but I, as a martial artist, lack. And I want to make sure I equip myself
Yeah.
with as many tools as
That
possible.
makes sense.
And that's why I do it.
From what I see from the outside, and I'm kind of stuck on the Tai Chi and the Striking.
Yeah.
But I like that a lot.
Mhm.
I like pairing those things, or I like seeing how they kind of play into each other. But just the hip movement and the foot and the positioning,
Mm-hmm.
or the step positioning. What do you call it? How you move your feet.
The Tai Chi walk.
Transitional tees and transitional,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
So that with striking, I don't know about you guys, but that seems like a very powerful thing,
Yeah.
thing to combine.
Yeah, a lot of it has to work foundation up, no matter what you're in. Like in jiu-jitsu, you're constantly having to bridge and post off your legs and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and it's all about your connection to the ground. And Tai Chi is very much that way too. So
I'm just writing.
you made me really uncomfortable. Why is he turning off his microphone? He quit. He's done. It's just you and me, Joey.
So the only thing I would say is that I've listened to what you had to say, and it's really great. I mean, that's the reason why you're a good teacher. You and yourself, you're a pretty good teacher. If anybody was ever contemplating a martial art, the best way to introduce yourself to a martial art with someone like with hoods is to come down and do it. There's a hana, a family.
Yeah.
Piece to it that'll it's comfortable. It's not like you're going to come into some dojo and start swinging and hitting stuff. They just don't start you out like that, and especially in older folks. I mean, it's a good way to gently get into a martial art. And there's a lot of older folks in Kajikembo who practice. I mean,
Yeah.
like upwards 60 plus years old,
Yeah.
and they're just fine. They go home with a few scrapes and bruises.
Yeah.
But they actually do it. So I would say to anybody listening to this right now is that Caleb is a good teacher. Is what he does. You heard him just explain something to me. My journey is starting out, right? So I'm making a few mistakes, and he's pointing out a few of my mistakes, which is Tai Chi is good for boxing. Like, I have a hard time with the sensitivity of
Mhm.
they have a thing lopsaus or the
Mhm.
pieces where they touch each other and stuff. I'm thinking to myself, if I'm on the street and I got to touch another human being to try to figure out what their movements are, I can't do that. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to reach out and touch another human being and try.
But you could see how that would apply in jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah, in
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu, that's a different
Yeah.
story. Yeah. Like if they're on top of you, ready to swing, it's good to grab a hold of their wrist and,
Yeah.
and make sure that they can't get their hand to hit.
And you can feel if they're going to drive down with it and things like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
But as far as like other stuff, I still question it. Right.
Yeah.
And so,
No, that's good. You should continue doing that.
and that's the positive aspect of working here. If you ever try martial arts with hoods, then basically you get to question it. You can question him directly, and Caleb will basically answer you truthfully. That's what's cool about it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you. And that's the real reason I brought him on,
Yeah.
so he could plug my.
No, I'm just all truth about it. I would tell anybody right out who's starting out exactly how I felt about it.
I appreciate that, and that's one thing I've really appreciated about our relationship. And sometimes you come in and you train. Sometimes you go to the other school and train, and there's never been any sort of, I feel awkward that I have to. You know what I mean? Like, we're both real with each other.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that about you. Like, you've never made any bones about why you're training,
Right.
or if you don't like something.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. I think that's a good quality
Well, I
to
think
have.
a lot of your students are like that, in their own level, in their own
Yeah,
different
yeah.
ways. They're all really honest with each other when they
Yeah.
get down on the mat. So I think, I see that in the Forges piece of it too. When he's working with clients, I see
Yeah.
him talking to people, and I see people, working their hardest. I look over occasionally, I see people sweat, and I'm like,
Yeah.
he's working them.
Yeah.
Working them good.
We're doing good.
Well, cool. I appreciate that, Joey. Why don't we take a quick break and we'll come back.
Hey everybody, this is Mike at Northwest Forge. Don't have time to go to the gym? Want your personal trainer to come to you? Northwest Forge now offers online training. Check us out at northwestforge.org. Stay motivated.
Hey everybody, it's Sifu Caleb from the Hoods Martial Arts Academy, wanting to let you know about an event we have coming up. Women's Self-Defense Seminar, October 15th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. right here at Hoods Martial Arts Academy. If you're interested in registering, you can register on the website, hoodsmaa.com, and click the button that says Women's Self-Defense. Space is limited, and we're closing registration October 12th, so make sure you register today. Be healthy, be safe.
Are you a fan of the paranormal, UFOs, conspiracies, or cryptids? Do you like being entertained? Then I recommend the 45th Parallel Podcast. You can find it on iTunes, your Android podcast app of choice, or Stitcher Radio. Just type in the 45th Parallel and start listening. Make sure to subscribe and rate our show so we can climb the charts and get our paranormal message out there. We hope to see you in the 45th Parallel.
And we're back.
Oh, good.
Welcome back, everyone. So just to remind everyone, you got Caleb here with Hoods Martial Arts Academy, and
Mike with Northwest Forage.
yeah,
And Joey, the unknown martial artist.
the unknown ninja.
Yeah.
And we're just kind of talking about Joey's experience with fitness and martial arts and having a good time on Modern Era Fitness Podcast. Mike, I think you had something. You didn't raise your hand this time.
I do.
But I could tell that you have something you wanted to talk about.
I got something. So I'm always kind of interested in what motivates people and what makes people push themselves hard.
Yeah.
And so when did you start really getting into martial arts? Was it right after?
Yeah, so my experience of being raw, basically...
Did you just jump all in?
I jumped all in and blew out my knee.
No. That's right, boxing. You started off with boxing.
That's right. I jumped right into it, and I went full force, and this is somebody who, there's no strength training, no conditioning, no exercise, nothing. Just went straight for it.
Dove into the deep end of the pool.
Yeah, blew my knee out.
Where did you do boxing? Because it's kind of harder to find around here.
There was a box fit class that was taught over...
At the courthouse?
Zildjian's, I think is what it was.
Where?
Zildjian's gym.
Oh,
yeah.
Zanshin, yeah, over on Broadway.
So that's where I started it, and I was hitting the heavy bag, blew it out.
Oof.
So the reason I ask is because when I see people start with like personal training stuff, I recommend that they start out with this nice, even, almost flat rate of improvement.
Yeah.
Instead of starting steep and diving into the deep end of the pool like you did.
Yeah.
But it sounds like
loved it if that would happen.
It sounds like you blew out your knee and you weren't done yet. Like you made the changes that you needed to make and you kept going.
Yeah,
and you have what looks like a steep rate of improvement.
Yeah.
You're improving quickly.
Yeah. So there was a question earlier about what it was my week like. And so my week like is Monday at 5:30, 5:45 in the morning, I'm up at the boot camp class. And that's HIT. And the second day is HIT. And then the third day, this would be Wednesday, would be strength training. And then the next day would be HIT. And then the Friday would be strength training. And then sometimes on the weekends I would go. And the reason why I go to the piece of it that I'm doing is trying to get it basically in shape and eating. Right.
Do you think that the incident that got you into martial arts and physical fitness, do you think that's valuable to keep that rate of improvement high?
Yes.
Wait. What do you mean?
Getting robbed.
Yeah.
And going through that traumatic experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that, do you think that's a bad way to look at it?
Like, is that still your motivator, or has it now become something else?
Well, that and to give Caleb a hard time.
Yeah.
Keep me on my toes.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you're right. It is a motivator for me. And I guess the main motivator is making sure I protect my family. Because when I was robbed, I could have easily, the people who robbed me could have easily went back to the car. My wife cannot fight. She's in a wheelchair. She can't run. She can't do whatever, to get away. She can't escape. She can't run up, she has no direction to travel other than in a wheelchair. And as soon as she turns a wheelchair, she's got her back to somebody, right? So it's one of those things that keep me up at night. So it is a motivator.
For what do you think a good way for, I don't know, somebody else, if they want to get motivated to make the changes, how do you think they should do that?
The way that I guess I view it is you have one go around in this world. You only have one shot at it. And if you want to spend your time sitting in front of a television, eating, fat foods that just make you fat or whatever, that's your way of looking at it. However, there is a whole other world out there. And it's one that I have never experienced before until I started actually doing physical fitness. And that whole other world is way better than sitting down and watching television and just eating junk food. But it requires a certain amount of discipline, and you've got to buy into that thought. You have to buy into it.
That's good.
So, I don't mean to keep hammering on you, but what do you mean buy into it? How do I get somebody to buy into it?
He's looking for actionable things.
I'm not necessarily actionable, but I want to just kind of dig and see what we find.
Oh, I see.
I want to know what Joey thinks.
Yeah,
he wants to make you cry.
Yeah, no. So the actionable things that I have coming out of it for me is my body, right? Can I withstand a punch? Can I do X? See that right there?
Weekend.
I'm going to do the same thing when I leave.
Yeah. Hope they're recording a podcast about cabinetry or something.
So
roofing.
Yeah.
So I get the feeling like maybe this will help you motivate somebody or something. But for me, it's just really black or white. Can I do this thing that I want to do to help me with my life? Yes or no? Can I do it? Can I pull myself up on a bar? Yes or no? Can I lift my body weight? Yes or no? And it boils down to that simple. Yes or no? Can I do it? And if I can't, that's what I need to do in order to progress in whatever it is I'm looking at as far as martial arts or in life in general.
That's awesome.
That's really cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for sharing.
He's not crying yet. Keep asking questions.
Why do you think what you think?
Why do I think
I really got nothing else.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Well, so the question I guess I have is, why do you want to motivate somebody to do something? People come into you when they're motivated, right? They come and seek you out.
They do. So
There's
I'm not
already
really worried about me how to motivate somebody else. I'm concerned, how does somebody motivate themselves? How do I motivate myself?
Like somebody who might be listening.
Yeah, somebody who's listening.
Right. See, like you talked about your computer app, I would find a computer app not motivating for me.
Totally.
I need somebody yelling at my face going, you need to run harder. You need to, I need a person there going, you need to do this. In my face, like a drill instructor.
Yeah.
That's just who I am. I just need that kind of stimulus. In a computer app saying you need to do 50 push-ups or whatever, it's just like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
What if I texted you later on that day and said, hey, Joey, why didn't you da-da-da-da?
I would say, yeah, I did them.
Oh.
Yep.
He got you there.
Go. Yep.
Technology.
Anything else?
Technology. Oh, man.
What you should text him is,
I'm watching.
I'm hiding in the bushes. Why aren't you doing your push-ups?
Yes.
Stalking.
I see you.
That would be the ultimate trainer right there.
Yeah.
I know you didn't do your push-ups. It's time to get...
I saw what you ate for breakfast.
Using Google Earth.
Yeah.
Real time.
Yeah, and
Street View.
the other part of it too is I click with the trainer down at the Edge Fitness where I go. I like him. He's just a good guy, Then I tend to click with him, and so that relationship is also another motivator.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, and I've come to one of your classes at Forge. It was fun.
Yeah.
We worked with not dumbbells,
Kettlebells.
Kettlebells.
Yeah.
It was fun. Caleb gave me a 50-pounder. That was
hey man,
I was motivated to try that to
Yeah.
lift it over my head multiple times.
It would have blown my shoulder out.
Yeah.
But I was motivated. I want to come back and do it
Yeah.
since you put it in front of me like this is
The
a challenge.
the black and white.
Yeah, I was
Can
like,
I do it or can't
okay,
I?
well, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Caleb put it in front of me. I'm willing to do it. That's the kind of thing I like about our boot camps is that there's always that camaraderie.
Yeah.
I can do better than you.
I've said it often about the boot camps here that it's not necessarily competition, but it's the camaraderie that you're talking about, or as Peggy Hill would say, camaraderie.
Yeah.
It was a joke for Mike.
I get it.
Yeah. Lost my train of thought thinking about Peggy
But you
Hill.
as an instructor, don't you challenge your people to almost compete against each other?
Not necessarily compete against each other, but
with yourself.
I push them against themselves.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And it's a group where I can kind of keep tabs on how people are doing.
Yeah.
So, and I can tell if somebody's not using enough weight or not pushing themselves enough, then I'll push them.
Yeah.
I'll call out
like
names.
individually.
That is
Yeah.
right there is something you need as an instructor. Somebody can see that you're not doing enough weight.
Yeah.
You're just like you're just half-hearted doing it. No,
Yeah.
You need somebody to put down serious weight in front of you and say, "Now do it."
Yeah.
No, but I don't want to. do it. That's it.
I do. I think I have a little bit of a different method though. So I won't say, "Hey, you need to do this." I'll say like, "Hey, you can do better," and I know you can.
Kind of spur them on.
Yeah, I'll spur them on, and I'll kind of coach you on. But if you don't want to do it, I'll say that's fine. You can.
You don't want to put the work in.
You can waste your time.
Yeah,
it's up to you.
Yeah, you want to keep those small arms. Cool.
Yeah.
See, that's what you need right there. Is you need somebody to keep you going like that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you need. So if you're not into physical fitness and stuff, you need somebody to keep pushing you like that. And so it's really good to get a trainer right off the bat. If you're going into any kind of lifting or exercise or whatever, personal trainers to start out with is exactly what you need.
Yeah,
We'll keep that in.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where could I find one?
Well,
Mike? The last episode was plug heavy for me.
it was.
So
I don't want to go there.
because you're too good for that.
I'm too good for that.
Yeah.
You have just too many clients.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
have time for that.
No. Don't bother signing up or looking at his website, folks, because he's full.
Full up. Don't even look at it. Don't even think about looking at it.
Yeah. You're probably going to get more looks because you said that.
You probably can't handle it
Yeah.
if you're thinking about it.
Ooh, challenge. See, I would hear that and say challenge. Oh yeah, okay, you
Yeah.
got it.
I love it. I love it.
We got time for questions? I think we got time.
Questions about what?
About these.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
what are your the top 3 skills you've learned so far for a fight? Or your favorite top 3 skills?
Ooh, yeah.
Top
that's
3
a good one.
skills for a fight.
And they don't have to be things
Yeah,
you
they can
learned
be
from
whatever.
Yeah.
me, even though
Don't be there. That's the number one.
Yeah.
You know, that's if you want to avoid a fight and don't get one at all, that's what you need to do. You just don't be in that situation.
Mm.
Don't be in a dark alley. Don't be in a dark parking lot. Don't
be
don't
smart
be in a,
about
yeah. Know your surroundings
Yeah.
and and constantly figure out what's going on around you, and not just being aware is the whole point. So that's like the number one.
Don't be in the octagon.
Yeah.
Don't.
Exactly.
Why did you sign up for that fight?
Yeah.
Whoops.
The second one would be when you go after somebody, you make sure they're on the ground. And the reason for that is because my wife uses a wheelchair. And I know you've heard Caleb talk about fighting in the past, about looking for an exit to get out.
Mm.
For me, it's a fight in place kind of thing. I know
That's interesting. That's
that I know I'm not going to look for an exit when I fight. I'm looking to the first person in front of me is going to get decked as hard as I can fight. That's my mentality.
Mm.
So I train like that because my wife cannot run. She can't go upstairs
because
and hide.
you're standing your ground because that's where what you care for most is.
Right.
Like
That. Yeah.
if they can't exit, you're not going to exit.
Right.
That's
Okay.
very interesting.
Yeah.
So it's a fight in place kind of thing for me. So that's another thing I learned about it. I don't run. If there's 5 attackers, I'm going to eat it, right? I'm going to take out 1 or 2, and then then I'm just gone, right? I already know that.
What would you do if your family wasn't in the situation and it was just you?
Then I would run.
Okay. Okay. Just checking. I wanted to make sure we were thinking about this the right way.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
the training that I receive with MMA basically is,
Teaches you to run away.
Run away.
Break the wrist one way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Go for the
basically,
groin, run. Go for the groin, run.
Yep. Yeah, eye strike, run.
Yep.
So that's what I would do if there was. And then the third thing is that don't have a heart. Don't lose heart. Don't be afraid. Don't. I guess it's not about striking. You hear me talking about striking. It's about heart.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give up. Don't run away from whatever it is that you're afraid of, right? In a fight. And so it's just, and for me, I'm an older guy. I don't have a lot of testosterone, man. I'm not like out puffing chest saying, oh yeah, it's about realizing that I have to stand my ground, and not running.
Yeah. The fear piece is an interesting piece because they say, and it's absolutely true, if you fear getting hit, you've already lost the fight.
Yeah.
If you fear dying, you're already dead. And you have to go into a fight with
That's exactly
kind
right.
of the heart that you're talking about is, if you're getting into a situation where you're going to throw blows, expect that you're going to get hit.
Yeah.
You got to be okay with that. You got to make peace with that because if you don't, you're going to be so concerned with blocking that you'll never ever land a blow on your opponent and end the fight. Really.
Yeah.
Does that fear go away after you get hit the first time? I mean, in a fight.
Yeah.
When the fight's happening, you get hit once, you're like,
well,
still going.
If that person hits you once and then gives you a second to think about your life, then yes. You know what I mean? Like that's why I think preparing yourself in martial arts training, no matter the style, as long as you know what it's like to get hit in a safe situation, you're less surprised by it out in the street. And that's a really big hindrance for a lot of people is they'll go through some sort of McDojo or Black Belt Factory or whatever and never really experience what it's like to get clocked in the face real good.
Yep.
And so if they're faced with something out on the street and they get clocked, it takes a good minute for you to figure out. It takes a good minute for you to figure out what happened, that you're okay, that you need to do something.
Yeah.
You know, whereas if you've been hit before, it's like, oh, that's what it's like. Okay, big deal.
Yeah.
And you're able to still focus on the goal at hand, which is getting yourself and your loved ones safe, and that potentially putting that person on the ground.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
Stopping the threat.
yeah.
Does that answer your question with 3?
It does.
Okay.
But I have another 3. Your 3 favorite excuse me. What are your 3 favorite exercises?
Let's see. The 3 favorite I would have would be probably the bench, because I just don't do it that often, and so I've been focusing on it a lot more. So it doesn't look like it, I know, but
Oh, we're looking around at.
I'm like they're
things,
looking at me like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, do you really lift? And I'm like,
Yeah, right. Bench.
Mike is this huge guy next to me. I'm like, oh, okay, just a lift. So it'd be the bench, and then the second one would be probably ab rollouts because it really helps me.
Ooh.
And that's with my abs. And I know if I get hit or I can with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it requires so much core strength, and it really helps me out. And then the second one or the third one would probably be sprinting. I'm just starting to get into running with my knee and stuff like that, and it's kind of been a freedom.
Awesome.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Those are really fantastic top 3.
Yeah.
I think. I'm so glad you didn't pick like leg raises or something.
Mule kicks, just like
mule kicks.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, those are my favorite. Those are my 3 that I actually.
Those are good ones. Yeah. Those are good, kind of broad spectrum range of things.
I don't know. Is it good to focus on those 3? I guess for my age and my abilities and.
Well, I think that it just ties back into what we were talking about before. It's like, should I focus on striking or Tai Chi? It's like they help each other out a lot. Yeah. You know, don't they?
Yeah.
So
it's all about structure.
Your sprints are fantastic. I mean, for building that sheer willpower, because when you're sprinting, you got to focus on putting it in that 100% until you're done.
Yep.
You know,
or throw up.
It's not a sprint.
Yeah.
If you're giving 99%.
Yeah. That's exactly right. That's the way I feel about it. If at the end of the sprint, if I know I didn't work out hard enough, I feel bad. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. They just give 100%, yes or no.
Yeah.
So practicing that 100% skill, it makes you a lot more aggressive.
Yes.
I think people find it in different areas, but the sprint is the easiest one.
Yeah.
To gauge, did I give 100 or not?
Yeah. Well, you can do a sprint in a lot of different ways. It's not just running. And, you can do it on a bike, or you can do it with like our AMRAP workouts.
Mm-hmm.
And you can, push yourself 100%.
Slam ball.
Ugh. Yeah, slam ball. Wonderful.
Little mushy
Sprint
ones that you have
one.
to bend down and actually pick back up.
Yeah, they don't bounce back at all.
Yeah.
The 25-pounder are the ones that get to me when you do them like 100 times. Like
100.
Yeah,
Murphy.
we have the thing called the what is it called? The Edge 1000, and there's these like 10 exercises you do 100 times.
Oof.
Yuck.
Yeah. Barfy.
That's yucky.
Yeah. But it's not box fit. It's not a cross
CrossFit.
training.
Yeah.
It's CrossFit.
Well,
what about you? What are you guys' top 10? What is your top 3?
Top 3 exercises?
Bench, bench, and bench.
Yeah.
Bench press, incline bench press, and push-ups.
Really?
No.
I was like,
no.
Someone who's all around fitness.
Actually, I think the squat, the deadlift, and the bench.
Oh, the Olympic lifts.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about me?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. What if I said like crunches?
No.
No. I really don't know. I like more movement-oriented exercises, like our ninja crawls that we do. I'm a fan of those kind of things because they work like leg and arm and chest and core.
Yeah.
But through movement.
Your own body weight.
Yeah, and I've found that, if I do more of a static exercise like bench or push-ups or something like that, that's when my body hurts. Yeah. And so if I do things that have a range of movement as opposed to one direction.
Linear.
Yeah, I tend to enjoy those more, and they kind of engage my brain a little bit more because I have to think about the coordination and stuff. So that's, those sorts of things.
You do crawls really well, like I say, in Brazilian
thanks.
Jiu-Jitsu. Something I admire, someone who has flexibility.
And, it really depends on the modality we're talking about, because I could give you top 3 of yoga, I could give you top 3 martial arts, I could give you top 3 of weights, top 3 of... But I don't, other than kind of the movement, the functional movement.
But the question was exercise.
It
wasn't yoga. It was.
Well, yoga is exercise, bro.
I'm taking yoga class. I know.
I don't know if you do. I don't know if you do.
Yeah.
But I do like, what is it, the clean?
Yeah.
Clean and press.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Those are kind of fun.
Yeah.
Versus the clean and jerk. So like a strict press.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Although I haven't really done the jerk much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the one where you kind of whoop and get under it.
Split lunge, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Man, all these exercises are awesome.
Yeah. How can you pick 3? So clean and jerk. I like planks.
Those are solid.
Is that why you have them? Is that why you have us do so many of them in class?
Usually. Yeah.
It's like time to plank.
They're good. They're good. They're really good.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing is planking. Everybody's down on the ground planking.
Yeah.
Next time you're going to throw some weights on our back or something like that. Make it really a plank.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm up for that.
You heard it there, folks.
There you
can
go.
blame him for it.
Yeah. But you don't have any plates in here, do you?
Oh, lots of them.
You do. I see them in the corner.
Yeah, so clean and jerk, plank. I have a love-hate relationship with squats.
I know you do.
Like this Wednesday, I loved them. Don't make me flex my quad for you. I
was
see you
gonna
looking at my legs.
I see too much tattoo on your leg.
Yeah. Those tattoos go all the way up.
Yeah.
But, I have to be in the right mood. But when I'm in the right mood, I really like them.
Yeah.
And I feel good after doing them.
Yeah.
Like you feel accomplished. Because what's more primal than having to heft something on your shoulders up? You know what I mean? Like squat down and then push
You're
them up.
almost the ranks of a meat eater now.
I know.
Almost, but not quite.
I just hunted a mammoth and now I want to squat stuff. But yeah, I think, or swap those out with deadlifts maybe.
Yeah.
Those are less of a hate relationship than squats.
Yeah. I think that's why squats are so effective, because it's gnarly. It's like, let's load up a bunch of weight and put it on your shoulders and
pretend like you're going to
lower
put
yourself
it
down to the ground,
Yeah.
and it'll get back up with all that weight.
Yeah, it's like you get a chance for some muscle relief when you're down in that squat.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, great, I got to work again.
Yeah.
I always get criticized with my squats because of my knee. I can't bend down. I usually get about to a 90 degree, and I can't really get down further
That's good.
than that.
That's really good.
That
Really?
90 degrees, I think that's
yeah,
what they look for in a,
So you
in
can
a competition.
you can get your cup of coffee and put it on your quad.
Oh, yeah?
At the bottom.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Just about.
That's really good.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Then
Yeah.
I need to go talk to some guys in the gym about this.
Yeah,
then.
well, everybody wants to see that below
Yeah.
90 degree, but as far as effectiveness, 90 is plenty.
Yeah.
I think.
I use a Smith
I don't
machine,
know.
too, so I
Well,
get
there's
criticized.
those couple extra inches, or the lower your butt goes,
Mhm.
changes a few things.
I feel like if you can get lower than that, that'll your range of motion in your hip overall in life
Mhm.
will be a lot better. Like our toilet bowl stretch.
Yeah.
So basically, if you go into that with squats, or start lightweight, or just the bar, or just body weight, and go into the toilet bowl and work on that hip mobility,
Yeah.
then
It'll pay off in the heavy squats.
Yeah.
That's this whole thing right here is a plug for older people who have limited strength as well as flexibility, because all that adds up. So I was going to say, older guys like me.
Oh, brother. We'll post a picture of you so everybody knows what you look like,
Yeah.
because you don't look 50.
Yeah, you don't.
Really?
And
Yeah.
even
Dang.
50 is young, in my opinion. Well, cool. Is there anything else you want to add or plug or say before we roll out?
No, I appreciate you guys' podcast. I think it's a worthwhile event, and I like listening to them. I like listening to you guys. I don't know Mike as well, but I know Caleb, and it's just fun to hear you guys talk. And then coming into class and seeing you guys, and kind of hearing about what your personal lives are like or about too is kind of fun. And it's that ohana, that family feeling that is kind of cool about it, about the martial art and the people and that kind of thing. So
Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah,
Thanks.
we love having you here.
that's really cool to hear because for a while there, it just seemed like a routine that Caleb and I do. You're like, we get together and we record and we put them out there and cross our fingers.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to hear that. We appreciate that.
It's
a
like
lot.
that message in a bottle. You put a message in a bottle, throw it out in the ocean, and where's it going
We'll see
to
what
land out?
happens.
Yeah.
Or we didn't get a nerd alert.
We didn't. I think we'll do Nerd Alert next week.
I got plenty of material if you want
I
to throw
know
one
you
in
do.
real quick.
You're pretty much a nerd.
Yeah.
Just talk about something.
Okay. Let's see. What do I want to talk about? That's the question.
You like a lot of
Rosetta,
science
the
stuff.
Rosetta mission, the one where they put a lander on 67P, which is the name of the asteroid, 67P.
Rolling deep.
Yeah, so they landed a lander on it, I think in 2015.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember the year. Ooh, I'm going to get some emails on that.
Ooh.
And then they had one that just kind of stayed in
Right.
orbit around it. And the end of the mission happened yesterday. They got everything they could out of the satellite, so they ended up doing a controlled collision to get some more science out of it as it dies. So
Get more science out of it.
science.
Yeah.
So
I hope
pretty exciting.
Neil can confirm this.
and many other people, I'm sure, can.
I just want Neil.
How about a tougher question?
Okay.
What are you going to be for Halloween?
Actually, it's funny you say that. I got a catalog from Century Martial Arts,
Oh,
or Martial
no.
Arts Supplier, and they now have a costume that you can buy where you can be Master Ken from Enter the Dojo
Yes.
YouTube series.
Yeah.
So I'm considering Master Ken. We'll find out.
Oh.
I'll have to work on my kill face.
And your mustache.
My
your
mustache and my
Can you even grow a mustache?
yeah. It doesn't look good.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong; it doesn't look good, but I can pull it out.
You can feel it, but you can't see it. It's like the
It's a
wind.
ghost stash.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's way creepier than it sounds, and it sounds really creepy. Yeah, it's not a good look.
And what about you, Mike? Where are you going at?
Well, my son is 1.5, so it's prime Halloween year.
You gotta go
'Cause
themed.
He'll dress up whatever we would dress him up in. He'll be
Yeah.
like whatever. So I was going to be Princess Leia. Mikhail's going to be Han Solo.
Oh.
And our son's going to be, I think, a really tiny Chewbacca.
Oh, funny.
You got it all wrong.
Not to be confused with an Ewok.
yeah.
So I think that'll be hard. We'll have I think we'll have the bandolier.
Yeah. That'll be key.
Yeah, and he already makes the sounds. So
That's really cute.
thanks.
That's really cute.
Well, petite Han Solo and
I could just see you guys coming.
moosey looking Leia.
Yeah, that would be hilarious.
I could see you guys coming up to my door like, "Hey,
Yeah.
we want candy
Yeah.
now."
I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What about you?
My kids do they want to do what do they call those? The new I can't remember the name of it. It's like a Tron thing where but it's with Nerf guns, and so they watched some video with Nerfs and guns, and
Yeah,
Cool.
they want me to dress up like a Tron guy with little lights and stuff. So,
Cool.
That's awesome.
You're gonna go
that or
all
a creepy
out?
clown. I like the creepy clown. 'cause
Oh,
my kids-
you might want to be careful about that because
Yeah.
they just
Lately.
spotted. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
did they?
So I don't know if you heard about this, but over in North Carolina, South Carolina, along the East Coast, there have been sightings of a scary clown that has been allegedly trying to lure kids in. I'm getting there. They've been allegedly trying to lure kids
way
into
out.
the woods and stuff, and
Yeah.
then they finally started finding them and arresting these guys.
Yeah.
And we just had the first sighting in Oregon of a scary clown.
Well, maybe not.
Yeah, so you're you got to be careful with that because you might be opening yourself up to
Yeah.
an arrest.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
scratch that idea.
Or at least attention from local law enforcement.
Yeah, you'll be flagged
Yeah.
for sure. But it's scary stuff. Some people were doing it just as a prank to creep people out, but there was a report that some kids were trying.
All right.
The
Trying
person
to
was,
lure,
yeah,
yeah.
it was trying to.
So back to
Do
the
something.
Tron with the Nerf gun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It sounds like that's your bet.
Safe bet.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any creepy Trons trying to.
No such thing.
Yeah.
Protectors.
Yeah, there you go. Well, cool. Thanks for listening, everyone. And just like Joey, he sends us emails and questions and stuff like that. We encourage you guys to do it too, so we can get to topics that interest you and hopefully answer your questions. You can reach us via email at moderneraFitnesspodcast@gmail.com or on social media.
At MEF Podcast.
Yeah,
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, get at us.
yeah. Joey, do you care about Instagram or anything? You want anybody to
I'm
follow
not
you?
a social media guy, man.
Okay.
I go on your guys' podcast and look it off your website. That's about it.
Well, if you want to interact with
Facebook.
Joey, you can do it through the comments, I guess, of the podcast.
Yeah, these guys will tell me.
Yeah. Yeah, so thanks for listening, guys. We'll catch you next week. In the meantime,
Live in a good place, keep your mind deep, and work when it's time.
bye. Please stop playing footsies with me.
But okay.